Hey y'all, Billy Thompson here. If you're looking to fix up your truck, figure out what that weird noise is, or just learn a thing or two about keeping your car running right, you've come to the right place. I keep it simple, straight up, and hands-on. Go ahead and give this video a like. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And let's get to work. Enough jawing, let's dive in.
The intermediate shaft helps distribute the rotational force from the input transmission to the output shaft inside the transmission. The speed of the intermediate shaft depends on the gear it is in. If the transmission control module, TCM, detects a fault, the PCM/ECM can override the values based on other sensors to determine the shift time. This adjusts the torque converter and pressure if information from the ISS sensor is not available. Error code P0792 is set when the transmission control module, TCM, monitors a performance range mismatch in sensor A or its circuit. Without the correct signal from the intermediate shaft speed sensor, the transmission cannot provide the optimum gearshift strategy. The intermediate shaft speed must be gradually increased until the required shift point is reached. If the sensor is faulty, this won't happen, so it won't be possible to determine the gearshift strategy. Malfunction symptoms. The main P0792 fault symptom for the driver is the illuminated MIL, malfunction indicator light. This is also referred to as check engine or simply check engine light. It can also manifest as other related fault codes may also be present. The speedometer or tachometer is not working or is faulty. Gear changes are difficult. Problems shifting gears. The engine does not accelerate well. Jerky or false ignition at idle or under load. The engine may stall or not start. Reduced engine power. Increased fuel consumption. Error P0792 is quite serious, as the conditions that lead to its persistence can cause damage to the transmission. Causes of the error. The P0792 code could mean that one or more of the following problems have occurred: faulty or damaged intermediate shaft speed sensor, ISS. The output shaft speed sensor has failed. Faulty input shaft speed sensor. The shift solenoid valve is not working properly. Open or short-circuited wiring or connectors in the circuits of the sensors listed. Dirty transmission fluid or insufficient transmission fluid. Sometimes the cause is a faulty PCM module. How to eliminate or clear fault code P0792. Some suggested steps for troubleshooting and correcting error code P0792. Read or stored errors using an OBDII scan tool. Clear the errors and carry out a test drive to see if error P0792 appears again. If the code appears again, inspect the wires and connectors for damage. Inspect the electrical wiring and connections of the associated sensors. Flash or replace the PCM if necessary. Diagnosing and resolving problems. It is worth first consulting the Technical Service Bulletins, TSB, for your particular make of car with error P0792. If the problem is already described, following the instructions can save you time and money in diagnosing and repairing the problem. Visually inspect all cables and connectors leading to the intermediate shaft speed sensor, ISS. Look carefully for abrasions, exposed wires, or breaks. Also note any melted or otherwise damaged areas. Repair if necessary. Electrical wiring. Check the wiring harness for loose connections, loose wires, or dirty terminals. Disconnect all wiring harness connections from the vehicle, the intermediate axle speed sensor and the PCM/ECM unit. Using a multimeter on an ohm scale, check for excessive resistance. If the resistance is too high, trace the wiring harness through the circuit between each connector to determine the cause. If there is resistance, there may be a short circuit to earth. Wiring harnesses should be checked for damage to the wiring harness or areas that could be grabbed by contact with the car chassis. Faulty wiring is often the cause of error P0792. Intermediate shaft speed sensor. A common problem with the intermediate shaft speed sensor is contamination. Therefore, after removing the sensor, the best option is to clean it. A clean cloth and brake cleaner can be used for this. Check the wiring harness for possible signs of damaged cables or loose connections. Measure the resistance by removing the connector and using a digital multimeter on an ohm scale. If the resistance is out of range or above the limit, replace the sensor. Check the sensor connector and PCM wiring harness for power using the factory wiring diagram. If no power is detected, the sensor must be replaced. Depending on the vehicle model, the voltage reading should be 12 volts or a reference voltage of 5 volts. If the voltage is not within specification, an earth fault may be suspected. They also don't rule out a faulty PCM, ECM or a wiring problem between the gearbox and the PCM, ECM. Chery, Tiggo, Chevrolet Chrysler, Town & Country, Voyager, Dodge, Caravan, Journey, Ford Jeep Lexus Peugeot Toyota Volkswagen, Rutan. With fault code P0792 it is sometimes possible to find other faults. The most common are the following: P0731, P0733, P0734, P0791, P0793, P0794, P1790. Fault code P0792, intermediate shaft speed sensor. In conclusion, addressing fault code P0792 involves understanding the intermediate shaft speed sensor and its critical role in your vehicle's performance. By recognizing the symptoms and following the diagnostic steps outlined, you can effectively troubleshoot the issue. Remember, clearing the error code by hand is a straightforward process, but it's essential to ensure that the underlying problem is resolved to prevent future occurrences. Always prioritize safety and consult a professional if you're uncertain. With the right approach, you can keep your vehicle running smoothly and efficiently. Thank you for watching, and we hope this guide has been helpful in navigating the complexities of OBD2 code P0792.